times this month, and I feel like a member of the family.
You are.
And today is probably a talk that has the most potential, because it's really how to change your life right now. It's how to make your life better. It's about karma. You're going to hear more about karma than you ever wanted to hear. And I thought I'd start with a few quotes, because I really like quotes. This quote is by Henry David Thoreau. "Distrust any enterprise that requires new clothes." Now, that has nothing to do with karma. I really like that quote. Happiness is when you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. And that was by Mahatma Gandhi. He also said, "Always aim at complete harmony of thought and word and deed. Always aim at purifying your thoughts, and everything will be well." Beauty of style and harmony and grace and good rhythm depend on simplicity. Plato said that. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late." And last but not least, Barbara DeAngelis said, "Love and kindness are never wasted. They always make a difference. They bless the one who receives them, and they bless you, the giver." So karma, let me define karma really quickly here, because there's a lot of misconceptions, mostly due to the 60s. And one of the misconceptions is, what goes around comes around. And I like that. It's a great soundbite, but it's not necessarily what karma is. According to Buddhism, according to early Buddhism, karma is everything you think, everything you say, and everything you do. That's karma. Now, the results of that thinking, saying, and doing, the consequences, we call that vipaka. Vipaka is the canonical language of early Buddhism. It's called Pali. That says to me there is a cause and there is a consequence. The cause is karma. The consequence is vipaka. Now, what do you need to have? What do you need to understand to be true? What kind of confidence do you need in karma? And the Buddha put it very well. He said this: first of all, you have to understand that karma is really happening. It's not an illusion. It's a force like gravity. Second, he said, you are really responsible for your actions. There is no outside force like the stars or some good or evil being acting through you. When you are conscious, you are the one who decides what happens. And then he went on to say, third, last but not least, your actions have results. Vipaka. You are not just writing on the water. And those results can be good or bad depending on the quality of intention behind the action. So you need to have confidence. You need to look at it in those three ways. Now, there are three wrong ways of looking at karma as well. They are the belief that all happiness and suffering arise from previous karma. Now, a lot of people like to just say it was their karma, and that's why they're suffering. All those people in New Orleans, it's just their karma. Well, you know what? It doesn't work like that in in Buddhism. It's always 5 things deciding why stuff happens in Buddhism. First of all, stuff happens because of the natural laws of the universe. For instance, Reverend Bob had a fall a little while ago. Tried to catch himself. Now, one of the natural laws of the universe was working against him. We call that gravity. If we didn't have gravity, Reverend Bob wouldn't have to worry about falling.
Float away.
So that affects what happens to us. Genes and chromosomes. We are predisposed to have things happen to us. Sometimes our genes and chromosomes make us 6'2". Sometimes they don't. Sometimes our genes and chromosomes determine how much hair we have at 50. You know, there's no way to work around that. I know there are advertisements on TV that say, if you put this stuff in your head every day, your hair will grow. But I have yet to see the evidence. The third reason stuff happens, according to Buddhism, is karma. Karma is the third reason. Karma is the moral aspect. Karma is the ethical aspect of why things happen to us. Fourth is Dharma. Now, I've taken the liberty of defining Dharma in this way. Dharma has 16 definitions. This is the one that I've used. Dharma is your religious practice. Your religious practice affects what happens to you and happens to all those around you. So, religion, spiritual practice, whatever you want to call it, has a definite impact on what happens to us. And last but not least, mind. We are what we think. We can have a good day by thinking good thoughts. We can have sort of a scary day by thinking bad thoughts. We can be a victim or a victor depending on how we define our relationship to the events in our life. So we're in charge, in a way. Those 5 things, though, are the reasons why stuff happens. As a Buddhist, you can never point to one thing and say, aha, because then it's so easy to be a victim if there's only one thing against us. We have stuff to do. We don't have time to be a victim. We need to change our life every moment of every day. So, number 1, wrong view, the belief that all happiness and suffering arise out of previous karma. Incorrect. Now, this is what the Buddhists say. I'm going to preface with it, it may not be how you feel at this moment in your life, but this is what the Buddha said. The belief that all happiness and suffering are caused by the directives of a supreme being, a theistic perspective. That I heard a minister say about the tsunami that hit Thailand that it was God's will. And I'm thinking, well, that is so easy to say that. Again, it's going to that one thing again. It's just like saying, well, it's karma. But as a Buddhist, we would never blame God for our suffering. The Buddha said you suffer not because of God. You suffer because you're ignorant. You have desires and cravings that can't be satisfied because you are selfish. You are not selfless. So as you look at the calamities in the world occurring right now, defining it as being a reaction from a supreme being is unskillful, I would say, according to Buddhism. And third, the belief that all happiness and suffering are random, having no cause. Now, we would like to think that sometimes, because oftentimes if we don't think it's random, we think the universe has an intention. It has an intention. I asked a Catholic priest friend of mine, I said, does God have intention? He said, oh yes, he sure does. And then I asked a Buddhist monk friend of mine, I said, does the universe have an intention? And he said, oh no, the universe has no intention at all. The universe can kill 10,000 people with one giant storm and not shed a tear.